In this video, we're going to configure our Pi-hole network ad blocker to use Cloudflare. Cloudflare is a service that anonymizes your DNS queries. So it sends your DNS query over HTTPS to the Cloudflare servers and returns the response. So that anonymizes the queries so they can't be sniffed or tracked by your ISP or anybody else. So the first thing that we need to do is we're going to go ahead and log into the new Pi-hole server. There's good documentation on this app in the Pi-hole documentation. You'll find step by step how to install this. And we're going to go through just a couple steps here. So the first thing that we want to do is get the Cloudflare binary. And to do that, we're going to get it from GitHub. We're going to get the latest release. That's going to take a second to download here. Once the download's complete, we're going to install it. And we'll check the version. It's the newest build. Now we want to add a Cloudflare D user, and this is what the daemon's going to run as. We're going to do that with user add. We're going to give it the no login so it doesn't get a shell. Now we can edit the defaults file. And this is what is going to give the command to the daemon. And here's the command here. So what it's going to do is it's on port 5053. It's going to send the DNS request over HTTPS to 1111 and 1001. So those are the two DNS servers there. So we're going to query on 5053 and it'll return the result. So now that we've done that, we want to set the permissions on the file that we just created. And we also want to set permissions for the Cloudflare user on the actual binary that was installed. The next thing we want to do is create a service file so that we can set Cloudflare D to start on startup. And again, this can be found here in the documentation. I'll go ahead and paste it in here and then we'll go over it. So this is just creating the unit and the service, so it's telling you what it is, where the daemon, where the configuration file is to pull the command line argument, and what it's going to execute is it's going to execute this binary as a proxy DNS with that command line argument that we created in the etc default Cloudflare D. So we'll save that. Oops, forgot a part on here. The install, that's important. And it's going to be a multi-user target on the install. So now we can actually install the service or enable the service. Okay, and now we can start it. And we'll check the status. Yeah, now it's running on 5053. Now if we do a dig for local loop on 5053, now it returns an address. So what that does is by querying 5053, it's going over HTTPS and it's giving us the name as resolved from one of these. So now that we have that, we want to go to Pi-hole, to our Pi-hole install. Oops. We'll log in here. And then once you log into Pi-hole, you want to go to Settings, DNS, and right now we're set to use Quad 9 DNS unfiltered. We're going to take that off and we're going to put in local loop 5053, enable it. And what that's going to do is Pi-hole is now going to use the Cloudflare daemon that we just set up. So we're going to save that. Go to our query log. Now if we go to a client, it's answering good. And everything is everything that gets resolved will be encrypted.